Okay, so you can see over there that I'm working on a lawnmower, a Craftsman lawnmower. I got some governor stuff work to do on the engine. That's on order. I think it should be here next week, I think. So, you know, with things slowing down, it gives me more time to get on Facebook Marketplace, look around, see if there's anything worth buying, or maybe cheap or free, and that I could bring back and flip, make some money off of it. Well, there was one literally 5 miles away from us, so I thought, you know, let's contact the person. It's another Craftsman, but this one's got a Kohler engine on it. Now Kohler is at least in my lifetime, I was always told Kohler was a better engine than anything else. This is a Briggs & Stratton, so this is 17 horsepower. This one here is 16.5. Now I recognize back in the 70s, I think, Kohler did make a pretty nice engine that was easy to work on, or easy to repair, whatever the case is. I don't know, maybe nowadays it's not the same. Regardless, it's got a Kohler. Now, he says it does start and run. He used it 2 weeks ago. The reason he's selling it is because he's moving to California. When I contacted him last night, he replied back and said that somebody else was coming out to look at it. If that doesn't go through, then he would get a hold of me. So this morning he got a hold of me and said the guy who went out to look at it broke the key off into the ignition and left. So the guy who owned it said he ordered a new one. I can come out Saturday after he gets put in. I said, cancel that. Don't do that. I want to see if this runs. Now, with the key being broke off in the on position, might be able to see that, I'll be able to start it. Now he says the battery's dead, so I even asked, do you think the battery's bad? He said, no, I don't think so, it's just dead. So I have another battery, came off that junk lawnmower, that does have some juice in it. I don't know if it's enough, but it might be enough to get this thing going. So I'm going to give it a try. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump it. I got some jumper cables here. I'm going to put the positive on the starter. I think you can, maybe you can't see that. You can put it on the starter here. Put the positive on the battery. And then we'll put the negative on the battery. Oops, I got that backwards. Put the negative on the battery. There we go. Put the positive on the battery. I'm getting confused. I can already see, I feel myself getting confused. And we'll put the negative over here. Okay, so it didn't start. That's a bummer. Oh, I know why it didn't start. I bet I know exactly why. I think he unplugged the key. If he unplugged the key, yep, he did. Okay, so we need to plug that in. So I was a little bit worried that we was going to have to put some carburetor work into it. So what we'll do is we'll plug this back in. He took it off. I guess he was going to order a new one. Okay, let's give it a try now. At least the battery that I got has enough juice to turn it over. Still nothing. Okay, so now what we're going to do is put some starting fluid in the carburetor. So this may be worse than what he thought it was. or the key still isn't working. I'll have to, I guess I could check that. Okay, so I've done some checking around, doing some diagnostics. It has compression, but it doesn't have any spark. Now, that could mean several things. I disconnected the wires that go to this ignition coil, but I don't know what the key is doing. There may be something more wrong with the key than he has explained to me. I think I'm going to get the key ignition, you know, the starter with the key and all that first before I do anything else. It has two wires going into the ignition coil, and I'm not really sure what that's all about. There is a lot of electronics on this engine. There's this computer box over here. There's some sort of junction wiring box here. So there's a lot of wiring going on. So I need to get a tester and check all this. So, but I do think the place to start is to get with a key and see if we can at least get something to work there. Now, I've kind of just examined around. It doesn't appear to have any oil leaks. It's really clean. The only oil that you really see is around here, and that's pretty typical with your vertical oil filter. It just kind of spews out when you take it out. So I can get the power washer out and we can wash this up. Get the carburetor air filter housing off, clean that up by hand so nothing falls into the carburetor. But whatever it is, it's an electronic. It could be a safety switch. You know, the brake isn't engaged, the seat switch, there's the mower deck switch. There's a ton of switches, so we have to check those. Again, I got my ohms tester coming tomorrow, so I'll be able to check all that. Now, the other thing he did point out is it needs a new belt, but I'm not going to touch that until I figure out how to get it to run. Now, he says there's two new tires on the front. The back, he says, got a little crack in it, which I saw that. He says it's got new fuel lines on it, new fuel filter, new oil. I just checked the oil, and it's over full. So it may have new oil in it, but it is way full. Oh my goodness. Check this again. I didn't think it was that full. Yeah, so it's I'm gonna have to drain a little bit out, but it is new oil. That's cool. I'm gonna charge that battery and see if it'll take a charge. Not very sunny today, so I live on solar panels, so we'll have to check that. Of course, we gotta get the mower deck off to put that belt on, so that'll give me a chance to check the blades, make sure they're okay. They look kind of new, but boy, he's hit some rocks with it. But then I can check the spindles and make sure they're not broke. But it does have good, you know, the tires are aired up. A little bit squishy. That one's filled. About to get a new seat cover for it. It's got the adjustable mower deck. And the way that works is you have a high-low position, and then so you can throttle this down and that'll hold it permanently there. I don't know why they did it that way. It doesn't make sense to me, but it takes a while to figure out. but it does need cleaning. I just hope we can get it started. There's something electrical with it. What's curious about this is, I don't know if I explained this in the beginning of the video or not. Yeah, I think I did. He called me, or he messaged me this morning and said, the guy who came out and looked at it this morning broke the key. And so I'm thinking, why would somebody break a key and then not buy it because they broke the key? Didn't make sense to me. So, I mean, Carolyn and I kind of yabbered about it a little bit. She said, well, maybe, since he couldn't test it to see if it actually would run, he decided not to buy it. I don't know. I thought it was kind of a, I don't know, modern day mean thing to do. In my mind, I would have given the guy $10 and said, hey, I'm not going to buy it, but here's the thing to the key. But it does kind of prove to me maybe the reason he broke it was he tried to start it and it wouldn't start, it wouldn't turn over. So, I mean, I don't understand that because the battery's dead. I wonder if the guy had a jump, maybe they were trying to jump it. I don't know, it was in the backyard. I don't know how you would have gotten the vehicle back there to jump it unless they took a battery like I did. So, if they were trying to turn it and it wouldn't turn over, maybe the key, maybe that's why he broke it, because he just kept, you know, trying to turn it harder and harder. But it's not locked up. I can figure this out. It may take me a long time to figure out an electronical issue. I mean, I'm just going to have to trace it out. Like I said, I'm getting that ohms tester tomorrow, so that'll make it a little bit easier. Serial number's all but gone. That's not good. Might be able to figure out something. 917271. That's bad, because then I don't have any way of figuring out what to order for it. I think it's 9172711, maybe 01. So this usually happens to me. I'll take a break for a few minutes and something it'll occur to me. So I was in there, I was ordering the switch, and it was $13.99, not too bad. It's a 7-pin switch, and that's pretty much how it works. There's just certain pins, numbers, and your particular lawnmower will have, you know, a 7-pin or a 9-pin. The guy said that he was using it and then the battery was dead. I'm wondering if he was using it, turned the key, and he thought the battery was dead. So what I'm going to try here is I'm going to try to jump it with just his battery. That would give me another clue as to whether it's actually a problem somewhere or if it's just the switch. It would give me a clue, because if he thought it was the battery but it was actually the switch, then that was the failure right there. It failed because of the key switch. So I'm over here, and I know you can't see me, but I'm gonna try to jump it. No, there's nothing. Yep, I guess the battery is dead. Well, let's just hope that this switch is the problem. I mean, he said it was running 2 weeks ago, so it's got to be somewhere in the switch or the battery. And there may be a safety switch. So, if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to video alerts. Working on something. So I hope I can inspire you to take a risk so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.